You don't have to be a geologist to understand that we're devouring Earth's fossil fuels the way Elizabeth Taylor goes through husbands. An energy crunch is coming, and there are a few ways to deal with it. You can try to do something about it, you can ignore it, or you can make a game out of it. That's what Impressions is doing with Powerhouse. IE recently spoke with David Lester, Powerhouse co-designer and CEO of Impressions, about this forthcoming ecological strategy game. Powerhouse takes place shortly after the year 2000. The largest power companies have merged with each other and destroyed the competition. So now there are only 4 powerhouses fighting for domination.
In the next millennium, when the energy crisis is just beginning to bite, and these companies are big, bad, and mean, and your ambition is to make your powerhouse the most successful within a 100-year time span.
As the CEO of your powerhouse, you'll concern yourself with 9 different types of energy production: oil, coal, gas, geothermal, solar, wind, nuclear, hydroelectric, and wave and tidal energy. Your first concern is to provide power for your customer base. Once that hurdle is passed, you'll engage in a war of acquisition as you try to snap up all the natural resources and extraction rights you can. Only through cutthroat expansion will your powerhouse thrive. Naturally, the global search for resources will lead you into some sticky political situations. The choices you make will affect the world political situation and vice versa.
If, for example, you have a very major source of energy in the hands of a dictatorship, they may have no private companies in. If there is a coup in that country, suddenly all that energy source becomes available because the new democratic government might auction that off to the highest bidder. So the game can turn quite dramatically.
Powerhouse is going to be primarily a CD game. There may or may not be a floppy version. The wealth of digital storage space leaves room for some multimedia elements. Powerhouse will make wide use of photographs during gameplay. Professional voice acting will also be prominent. Additionally, digital video will have a home in the game in the form of broadcasts from the Energy News Network. These ENN broadcasts will be a mix of actors and stock footage of modern-day power generators. As you may have noticed, Powerhouse is rendered entirely in SVGA. This is only the second Impressions game to use SVGA graphics. It's a move the company fought for quite a while, but now the time has arrived.
We now feel that the balance has shifted, and that although we'll still obviously be alienating people who have a machine that's too slow to effectively run it, nonetheless, SVGA is where we need to be for the majority of our users, and it has so many extra game possibilities now that you can fit so much more in one screen and make it look nice that we're all just desperate to use it. We're absolutely thrilled with the SVGA result.
Another departure from the traditional Impressions playbook is that the game will run under Windows. Powerhouse was coded with WinG, Microsoft's new game development library, to combine the speed of DOS with the functionality of the Windows interface.
We've been receiving a lot of requests from people for Windows products, and historically Windows has been too slow to allow us to scroll around smoothly and play animation. WinG changes that. Yes, it's still a little bit slower than DOS, but that difference is pretty small, and the machines are now at a stage where most users will be very happy with the speed obtained under Windows using WinG. So as developers, we can now give people the advantages of Windows without the disadvantages they've had in the past.
With Powerhouse, Impressions is taking a number of bold new steps. When the game ships in mid to late April, longtime Impressions fans may be thrown for a loop visually, but they're bound to find that the trademark Impressions game quality has not been left out. Combining real-life global issues, 21st century technology, political intrigue, and a high dose of strategy, expansion, and management, Powerhouse promises to be a weighty game that will actually bring some fun to your Windows desktop.